Creswell, Morgan Wilson. We're on with VW Sportsman. Dial your own bracket class. Morgan with the misdemeanor in the Auto Glim Lane 1740. Rob Creswell with the 13.60. So Rob's going to get there first, and he does with a 13.50. Breaks out by a tenth of a second. Let's see how close Morgan can get. 17.72. Normally either way too quick, or that was kind of in the middle. Ethan Lyle with a rolling P. Now Ethan, 14.6. He was 14.9. Sorry, he was dialing 20-second ETs before. Taking on Larry Ainslow with Lady Baha number 2. You didn't have time, really. Larry looking for 15.20. In the meantime, Ethan is long gone. I'm not sure entirely sure that's going to be a 14-second run for Ethan. I don't think it is. I think he's going to be closer to his normal 20-second dialing. There we go, 1888, 69 miles an hour. Trouble for Lowry, that won't be a 15-second run. It'll be at least 15 seconds. Well, let's get a number on the board. Still got a couple more goes chasing. So, Steve Stone from Chesterfield in the Kestrel Lane, 15.70. And Steve Metcalf, 14.90 with the Imposter Audi TT. Nothing to write home about reaction time wise. We still have our perfect awards up for grabs. Perfect TT, sponsored by Twister Racing and Eurodragster.com. 14.87, just a bit too quick for Steve Metcalf. Steve Stone, number 1. And I think he might even take the money. Simon, if you could just check that one for me. That is the perfect TT award, I think, actually. 15.70 with a 0. Yeah? Okay. Steve Stone, congratulations. Hang on. Yeah, it was Steve Stone indeed. 50. If someone could tell Steve, he's just won 50 quid from Eurodragster.com, and Andy Hatfield and the Twister Racing team bang on the money on his first run of the weekend in VW Sportsman. Well done. Lawrence Clark, Paul Robinson. $13.31, just a nip too quick. And Paul Robinson, 14.16. So, again, if you can hear me out there, Steve Stone, Eurodragster.com, and Twister Race Team, perfect ET, that was the one. Lawrence Clark with, beg your pardon, sorry, wrong pair, just waiting for him to clear the top end. Gareth Bates and Bruce Harvey. Gareth with the Beetle in the Kestrel Lane, 15.30, and Bruce Harvey, 14.12. Now, anyone that knows anything about the events here knows what these guys are going to be doing over the next week. They're going to do nothing. They're not going to go anywhere, probably not going to go home. They're just going to camp out for the week, enjoy the sunshine, and kick around and enjoy some racing this weekend. And then, next weekend is Bub Jam. 14.74, Bruce Harvey goes to number 4. Gareth Bates, number 3 with a 15.68. So Daniel Bulsher with the Loco Polo from Epsom, Kestrel Lane. Jack Gooding with Nemesis. Jack used to race previously in Junior Dragster. Now moving into that really, really nice looking Scirocco. $16.26, too quick for Jack. And too quick in the other lane as well, 14.04. So, Phil Jones, Kestrel Beer Lane, taking on Professor John Crawford, 15.15. VW Sportsman at the moment. Your points leader is Rob Creswell, Ethan Lyle, Jack Gooding, John Crawford is number 4. He still wears the number 1 on the car. I think that was from a couple of years ago, to be honest, but he's still very entitled to wear it. Could we have 850 bike into the lanes, please? 850 bike and 950 bike as well, please. Into the lanes, thank you. $15.18 for John Crawford, goes to the number 2 spot, 14.93. That will be number 3. So, Simon Clare in the Black Pearl from Waterlooville in the Kestrel Lane, 13.95 against the one and only Polly. You know what I mean if you ever met Polly. 16.41 in the Autoglim Lane for Polly. Simon's going to get there first with a 15 flat, and Polly goes 17.13. Little way off for both of them. Polly number 7, Simon goes to 8. We move on to VW Pro. Once again, Steve Stone winning the perfect ET money in VW Sportsman. So, Paul Jackson with the little pirate. The VW Pro, obviously, as you can see, the elapsed times drop. Their dial-ins are much quicker. Paul Jackson, 10.45 is the number he's looking for in the Kestrel Lane. 11 flat for James Gould, sorry. VW Pro National Points, Adrian Solly's in the lead, James Hodgson 2, Robert Carter. Number 3, 11.21 for James Gould. Paul Jackson goes 11.69. It's still amazing something that small can go that quick as well. 129 miles an hour. So the misfit on the Kestrel side of the racetrack is called Graham Fairhead. Taking on John Brewster. 12.99 for John, 11.10 for Graham. Really good looking run for Graham Fairhead, that one. 11.26 at 129, still pretty good opening run. 12.87, John Brewster breaks out. So the late news himself is Adrian Solly, Autoglim side of the racetrack, 11 flats. With a little hashtag on the black saying, pray for my CVs. We can do that. Against the consummate racer himself, Mr. Carl Goldsmith, 10.70. Well, Carl absolutely, both have 1.74 to 60. Carl's way out there in front with a 10.57. Look at the speed as well for Carl Goldsmith. 140 miles an hour. He breaks out. Good strong run nonetheless. 11.98 for Goose on the other side of the racetrack. Dave Crowhurst from Cranbrook. You can see Luke Stevenson down there filming instead of racing, unfortunately. He said he ran out of time. Dave Crowhurst actually now dials in the 9s. 9.85, taking on Ian Dale with a strip burner, 12.50. Well, Dave Crowhurst got just over towards the tree, but reined it in really nicely. Still having a little bit of a wander around at the top end, but goes 9.76, 137 miles an hour. Breaks out. I think he could care less. Ian Dale goes to number 2 with a 12.96 on a 50 by virtue of the fact he didn't break out. Probably one of the only ones that didn't. So James Rhodes and man himself, Mr. James Hodgson, good to see him back, 10.19. That Golf in the Autoglim Lane, if you look at the mile an hour that those cars run, it's just incredible. Just getting them off the line being front wheel drive is the issue a lot of the time. But once they pick up and go, I'm not sure that is going to be a 10.19 for James Hodgson. 12.50. Still goes 126 miles an hour. Look at the speed in the other lane. 130 at 12.26 for James Rowe. So Tom Herbert. And the VW Herbs in the Kestrel lane, 11.75 and 12.25 for the Seat in the Auto Glim lane. Lots of extra weight hanging off the side of the Seat by virtue of GoPros looking forwards and backwards, I think. Couple of really good launches actually, it's a lot more like it. Tom Herbert will get there first, probably not by much though. 12.25, which is the number the guy in the other lane wanted. He goes to number 4, number 2 for the Seat. I do love that Audi estate, so unassuming. Otherwise known as I'm Percynator. Good name. That's Rob Carter from Sheffield with the A4. 11.8 on what from the outside just looks like a fairly stock Audi. Taking on Jacob Bailey, 10.40 with Jetta. Again, Jacob's another one of those cars that runs a huge mile an hour. Well, Jacob actually has a 2.12 60 foot from rolling the lights. The ET won't be reflective of what he actually ran. The speed is 141 miles an hour, but he had 2.12 to 60 in 11.02. 12.12 for Rob Carter. Actually, by virtue of not breaking out, goes to the number 2 spot, would you believe? Abby Tether with the Golf. 12.87 for what is pretty much a standard road car. $12.93. Actually, Abby ends up as the number 1 qualifier, 0.06 of a second off at the end of VW Pro. Abby Tether takes the number 1 spot.